Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to speak to you about something that has the power to change the way you live your life. Risk is better than regrets. Every day, we are faced with choices, some small, some life changing. These moments often ask us to decide: do we step into the unknown, daring to take a chance, or do we retreat into the familiar, staying in the comfort of what we already know? It's human nature to seek safety, to avoid failure, to protect ourselves from uncertainty. But let me remind you of something profound: nothing grows in the comfort zone. Think for a moment about the opportunities you've let pass you by because of fear. Think about the dreams you've postponed because you told yourself, "I'm not ready," or, "What if I fail?" Now, imagine your future self looking back at those moments, not with pride, but with regret. What if I had tried? What could my life have been if I had taken that chance? Regret, my friends, is one of the heaviest burdens we can carry. It lingers in our minds, it whispers doubts into our hearts, and it robs us of the joy that comes from trying, even if we don't succeed. You see, failure is temporary, but regret lasts a lifetime. But here's the beauty of risk: even when you don't get the result you hoped for, you grow. When you risk something, you gain something far more valuable than immediate success. You gain experience. You gain resilience. You gain confidence. Every risk you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. Now, let's think about the people who changed the course of history. Did they play it safe? Did they avoid risks because they feared failure? No, they leapt into the unknown with courage and conviction. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Imagine if he had given up after the 10th or 100th failure. Rosa Parks took a monumental risk by refusing to give up her seat, risking arrest, ridicule, and more. But her courage sparked a movement. And now, I ask you, what about you? What if you took that leap of faith? What if you chased the dream you've been holding back on? What if you trusted yourself enough to try, knowing you might fail but knowing you will grow? Taking risks doesn't mean acting recklessly. It doesn't mean jumping without a plan or ignoring the consequences. No, taking risks means having the courage to step outside of what is safe, to move forward despite the fear of the unknown. Courage, my friends, isn't about being fearless, it's about being brave enough to act in spite of the fear. And here's the beautiful thing about courage: it's contagious. When you take risks, when you show up boldly in your life, you inspire others to do the same. You light the way for others who are standing at the edge of their own fears, wondering if they can make the leap. Now, let's bring this back to you. I want you to think about what's holding you back. Is it starting that business you've been dreaming about? Is it applying for that job that feels just out of reach? Is it telling someone you love them, or forgiving someone who hurt you? Whatever it is, ask yourself 2 questions. 1. What's the worst that can happen if I take this risk? Let's break that question down, because so often it's the fear of, what if, that keeps us frozen in place. When you imagine the worst case scenario, what do you see? Maybe failure, rejection, embarrassment, or even loss. These fears can feel overwhelming, but let me ask you this: if the worst does happen, will it truly be the end? Or will you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again? The reality is, most of our fears are exaggerated by our minds. We think failing at something will be catastrophic, but in most cases, it's not. A failed business idea, you can learn and try again. A rejected application, you can apply elsewhere or come back stronger. A moment of embarrassment, it fades far quicker than we expect. Even when things don't go as planned, we find that we are more resilient than we realize. Now, let's flip the script. Instead of focusing on what you might lose, ask yourself, what's the best that can happen? What if the risk pays off? What if you succeed? What if you achieve something extraordinary, something that changes your life forever? And here's another question: what will happen if you don't take the risk? This is the question that matters most. If you play it safe, what opportunities will you miss? What dreams will you leave unrealized? What regrets will you carry? Often, the true, worst-case scenario isn't failing, it's looking back and wishing you had tried. So the next time fear whispers, what's the worst that can happen? Answer it with confidence: even if I fail, I'll grow. I'll learn. And I'll move forward. Because the real risk is not taking the leap, it's standing still. 2. And what's the cost if I never try? This is the question that hits hardest, isn't it? When we're faced with a decision, we often focus so much on the fear of failure or the uncertainty of the outcome that we forget to think about the other side. What do I stand to lose if I don't even try? If you never try, you'll never know. You'll never know what you're capable of, how far you could have gone, or who you could have become. The cost of not trying is the loss of possibility, the opportunities you'll never take, the dreams that will never become reality, and the experiences you'll never have. Think about this. Every time you hold back, you're saying no to the potential for growth, to the chance to learn something new, or to create something meaningful. You're choosing the safety of the present over the potential of a brighter future. And while that may feel comfortable now, years down the road, the weight of what if will feel far heavier than the temporary discomfort of risk. The cost of not trying is regret. It's standing on the sidelines of your own life, watching others take chances, achieve their dreams, and live fully while you wonder, why didn't I? It's knowing you had an idea, a passion, or an opportunity but chose to let fear or doubt win. And the truth is, regret doesn't fade easily. Unlike failure, which teaches and builds resilience, regret leaves you stuck in a place of longing for what might have been. But beyond the regret, think about the ripple effect. When you hold back, you're not just depriving yourself, you're depriving the world of your unique contributions. That idea you didn't pursue could have inspired someone else. That risk you didn't take could have changed lives, not just your own. When you don't try, you don't just lose your dream, you lose the chance to make an impact. So, ask yourself, can I live with the cost of never trying? Can I accept the missed opportunities, the unanswered questions, the dreams I let slip away? If the answer is no, then let that fear of regret drive you to take action. Let it remind you that the cost of standing still is far greater than the cost of moving forward, even if the road ahead is uncertain. In the end, it's not about whether you succeed or fail. It's about knowing you gave it your all. The cost of trying might be temporary discomfort, but the cost of never trying. That's a lifetime of wondering what could have been. So take the leap, because the price of inaction is simply too high to pay. Often, we realize that the worst-case scenario is far less scary than we imagined. But the cost of inaction? That's where the real loss lies. Life is fleeting, my friends. None of us are promised tomorrow, and every day we spend hesitating is a day we'll never get back. The richest, most fulfilling experiences in life come when we dare to step into the unknown. When we risk failure for the sake of growth. When we risk rejection for the sake of love. When we risk discomfort for the sake of living boldly. The road ahead won't always be smooth. You will face setbacks, you will stumble, and you may even fall. But let me tell you something. Every time you fall forward. Every risk you take brings you closer to who you are meant to be. So today, I challenge you to take that leap. Speak your truth. Start that dream. Say yes to that opportunity, even if it scares you. Take the risk that your heart has been calling you to take. Choose the discomfort of trying over the regret of wondering what could have been. And when you look back on your life, years from now, you won't remember the failures. You'll remember the courage it took to try. You'll remember the lessons you learned, the strength you gained, and the moments when you dared to live fully. Remember this: the only true failure in life is never having tried. So go out there, take that risk, and live a life free of regrets. Thank you.